welcome to another edition of New Frontiers with me, Helen, with Snoop and with Star. Today we have travelled to the beautiful town of Gois in central Portugal, where we'll be meeting two entrepreneurs originally from Scotland who have moved here, set up home and started a business in this idyllic landscape. I think it might be cocktail o'clock. Let's meet Alan and Neill and find out more. Today we have travelled to Place Gois, a modern bar kitchen run by Alan and Neill. Let's find out their story. Why don't you start by introducing yourselves, where you're originally from, and tell us a little bit about your business.
Okay, so I'm Alan, this is my better half Neill, and together we run Place Gois, which is a restaurant in the beautiful banks of the river Ceira in central Portugal. We're originally from Edinburgh, where we ran businesses there, and we moved out here in 2018 permanently and started our business in August of 2020. Place Gois is a bar and kitchen, so we serve small plates and fusion dishes, things that you wouldn't typically get in the mountains here in restaurants. And we have a real ethos that focuses on sustainability, so growing as much as we can within a 30-mile radius is where we source our products from. So again, a bit different to what you're finding in the mountains.
When did you come to Portugal?
So we moved over in 2015 and then moved over permanently at the start of 2017. Alan's father is Armando Martinez, the sculptor that has a lot of pieces in Góis. So we've been coming to this village for the last 10 years and his family's been rooted in Góis for the last 25. So we were very fortunate to know a little bit about where we were coming from. And Góis was already home for us, essentially. It was a very easy move for us to come over.
Yeah, particularly with familial connections to the area, it made it much more simple. We weren't just throwing ourselves straight into the deep end, and we already had a support network here.
Being two Scotsmen, the language obviously was a huge barrier, not only from my accent, but onto speaking a different language. But having that ease was a lot easier for us to kind of be accepted into the community and allow for us to be essentially flourish, which has been lovely.
Why did you choose Portugal?
Well, this area in particular, like Neil said, we've been coming on holiday here for 10 years. I'm in love with Góis. I think it's paradise, you know. And when we bought our house here, that was on a whim. When we moved out here permanently, we really decided we want a different pace of life and one that was less pressured. And that's something you can find in abundance here. It's a much slower pace of life in Portugal than it was back in the UK.
It's also very familiar for us. Look around us, it's beautiful, it's green, it's rivers, it's the climate, it's very similar to Scotland until we hit August.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. This sort of landscape is particularly familiar. You know, I love the Highlands of Scotland, I love to be in the mountains. And here, bar the eucalyptus, you could be fooled into thinking you were there. So,
did you always plan on starting this type of business in Portugal?
So no, is the answer to that. We ran a lot of hospitality-based businesses back in the UK, so restaurants, bars and nightclubs and stuff. When we left that, we didn't want to do any more of that. However, I think this opportunity presented itself to take on this building, and it's such a fabulous location and this is also our natural skill set. We know what we're doing when it comes to the hospitality sector. So no, we hadn't intended on actually starting this sort of business at all, but we kind of fell back into it really easily.
After living here for a while and looking around and eating and drinking externally, we kind of realised that there was something missing, and we've seen a little niche in the market, and it was to bring a little bit of luxury, a little bit of something special. We tried to create what essentially we would do and visit in the UK. And hopefully we've achieved that. It's been very well received by the locals, by the expats and by the foreigners. So far so good.
Yeah.
So that kind of links into my next question. Has your business been well received by the local community?
Yeah, we've been really surprised by the level of support we've had at a local level, particularly amongst the Portuguese. You know, it's not just estrangeiros that are visiting here. And that comes from just even the next door neighbours. I think starting a business here really earned us a lot more respect from the local community because we're less transient and we're rooted here. You know, all my suppliers are from the villages round about us and things like that. Additionally, having the support at a junta and government level, local government level, the support there's been phenomenally good. They're just really happy to see that we're integrating into the community, I think, and they're really keen to support us in doing so.
But it does go two ways. We've tried to really get involved with the local community by helping, by ensuring that we go along to all of the political assemblies, all of the community outreach programs, all the conversations. We really make sure. For instance, last year I became a volunteer fireman for the Bombeiros in Gois. I like to really give back as much as they come. And that, as Alan said, that's really helped root us. We're now known by everybody, but not just for the restaurant, not just as being foreigners and strangers to Gois, but as two lovely guys that are trying to bring the community into a modern environment.
And one thing we're also really keen to do is integrate other foreigners into the local community. We are a bit of a hub, so we run a weekly Portuguese class that's free and drop-in. We run a weekly art workshop on a Friday, which is designed to combat loneliness and is kind of peer-led, so that's for foreigners living here by themselves. And these sorts of activities we look to build into the local community as well. So things like we're holding an exhibition in the summer of the works of the art workshop and things like that. We also run a small business forum, which is just designed to get like-minded people together. So for us, integrating foreigners into the local community, I mean, we make up 10% of the population of Góis. You know, it's really important. It's really important that these people also feel rooted in where they live.
The last couple of years have been somewhat challenging. How have you coped and adapted to the ever-changing circumstances?
The COVID environment.
Yeah. I mean, we're really, in many ways, fortunate in that we started in the middle of the pandemic, and what that means is we've had to build a really lean business model that's reactive to environmental changes. So, for example, keeping minimum amount of stock, minimizing food wastage, and things like that. I don't see that as a negative because it's kind of future-proofing our business and making it more resilient, and additionally making it much more environmentally sustainable. Like I said, even just down to food waste being absolutely non-existent in the restaurant. You know, and it means we can be really reactive to what's going on around us with our audience and things like that as well. I'm really looking forward to a time when we don't have to deal with these challenges, but for us it's not necessarily been the worst thing. You know, we've had to adapt quite a lot to what's going on.
And learn new skill sets because of that. And tying us back into working with other people, as Alan said, we have nearly less than 1% is our food waste here, because all of our fresh vegetables and fruit that's provided by our farmer takes all of our raw food waste and it's recycled back into the environment, back into my product, making it better for next year. And that's something that's certainly very important to us, especially in a country that we use and rely on such heavy wood for the salamanders. You know, we try and make as much of a difference that we can in a business level, and we hope that the locals can see that and try and implement a little bit of what we're doing.
You know, I think as well there's things that have made it a bit easier for our business, limited capacities to start with and things like that, you know. And if we had gone straight into the capacity of this building is 150 covers, if we had gone straight into that would have been really challenging. I feel like these baby steps, slowly but steadily into the business, has made it somewhat easier.
Well, it allowed us time to catch up with the language, allowed us to catch up with people they weren't shocked, but they were very hesitant with our new fusion type. We use a French style and method of cooking, and we're using local and ingredients that they know. So chamfana, that now is a goat curry for me. Pork secretos, they've never seen a sauce with that.
No,
ever.
so it's using familiar ingredients,
And it's been slowly has allowed us to kind of not shock them, but allow them to kind of come around to our new way of thinking.
Yeah, and the other thing as well is that now that we're coming out of COVID, we're seeing a lot more partnership opportunities. Suddenly large companies, large alcohol companies, marketing budgets, they've got a lot of money to spend. They know that we're coming out the other side of this. And for us, that really represents a great wealth of opportunities in terms of how we can expand our business, how we can grow relationships with local suppliers and things like that. So it's an exciting time.
Because this region has some of the finest and the best food and drink on offer, from local producers all the way up to new businesses. We met a beautiful company called Azure, and they are based in Argyle, who are specialising in craft beer for this region, which is, as you know, unheard of. I can't wait to get some more of their beer in here.
Yeah, we were sampling some of their IPAs the other day. We're looking forward to having them in stock.
And this is a young couple of boys, under 30-year-old, who just decided to do something new, do something differently, and we're all behind that. I'm up for supporting these guys as much as we can.
What are your future plans for the business?
So we are looking at other locations at the moment, so both in the centre of Gois and in other areas like Kosia. We anticipate we'll be opening our second location within the next 6 to 8 months. And then we're looking to branch into accommodation. We've got a particular aesthetic for our business, and we feel that would translate well into other areas of tourism, including accommodation activities, things like that. But watch this space. The summer's only a few months away now, so.
And finally, do you have any advice for anybody thinking of moving to Portugal and starting a business?
Yeah, if you've run a business in the UK, it's incredibly different. It
very
presents
different.
a whole new set of challenges. My strongest piece of advice would be don't start your company until you're earning money. Because immediately there's a lot of costs to be faced. The tax system is incredibly complicated. The bureaucracy is incredibly complicated. And they're not necessarily as geared to small businesses as we are in the UK. That said, if you can get to grips with the tax system, the bureaucracy, dealing with the local cameras and things like that, you'll flourish here. Because this area is really an unsaturated market. There's a wealth of opportunities here in terms of tourism businesses in particular, food and drink businesses. And I said I could open another 6 of these and barely be filling the marketplace. So, I think it's a lot more opportunity than you would find in the UK.
As Alan said, with our expansion, we are only confident now because of the people that we've surrounded ourselves. So my advice is certainly surround yourself with a wealth of knowledge and skill sets from both Portuguese and business owners like myself and Alan, who are already here and are already trading and surviving. We are very fortunate that we could speak a little bit of the language and integrated ourselves so quickly before we took on this venue. Or otherwise, I believe it would have been a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
Without Alan's previous experience in contract law and bureaucracy from the UK in dealing with our licenses, we would have really struggled here. But like he said, it is a wealth of opportunity out here, but skill set and people. We couldn't have done it and couldn't have got here without the people in our team that support us on our daily basis.
And I think it's also about having a different attitude here. You have to have a different attitude.
Everything's amen, yeah, amen, yeah.
I no longer get upset when I don't get responses to emails, or whereas for the first year, I really think, that was driving me crazy. Yeah. You have to have a very, very relaxed attitude. The Portuguese have a very different attitude when it comes to business, and it's
to life.
To life, yeah.
And it's not a bad thing or a good thing.
Yeah,
it's
very
just the Portuguese way, and
we've
embraced it and we've got on board. If you email us, it takes a week now.
Yeah, well, you emailed me, it took a week, 2 weeks to get back to you.
You got to fit in. You got to fit in.
And it is really surprising because it's things like suppliers that people you're wanting to give money to that won't get back to you and things like that. So as long as you persevere, you have to have patience and a really positive attitude in order to do well here, I think. This summer we're going to be programming a lot of events and activities for this space, particularly around art, music. So we've got some exciting artists coming over. Charlie Anderson, a mural artist from the UK. He'll be coming over in July.
He's in July, yeah.
We've got beach parties happening here for the month, every month in the summer. So in the summertime, we get these beautiful river beaches. We'll be throwing big parties throughout the season. And we've got a lot of classical events on, so a lot of fado, so you can enjoy some drinks.
Some beautiful opera again in August.
Some opera, things like that. So
keep an eye on the Facebook. Place Gois, the Instagram, Place Gois, all hashtags. That's the best way to keep up to date.
Yeah, our social media.
Yeah, but this year's certainly going to be a busy year for us. Yeah. So keep an eye out and get ready to come down.
Thank you very much, Alan and Neill, for taking the time to talk with us today. So a massive thank you to Alan and Neill for sharing their time and their story with us today. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And a big thank you also to Portugal Living magazine for making this all possible. Please like and subscribe to their YouTube channel. And please join us again next time, where we'll be exploring some new frontiers.